I'm Ethan Steenstra, and I'm a brand strategist. I'm a 30-year beer vet, and I've worked in all facets of beer, worked at a beer distributor, and then I've worked for several breweries.
This month I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
If the brand stands for something, then they got to follow that lead. And I think, a brand like Bud Light, they've been supporting GLBT and that community for decades. Where I think they went wrong is how they dealt with the backlash in social media, and they took way too long to respond. I would put a lot of the blame on the brand leadership not understanding the DNA of the Bud Light brand and who its core consumer was. And that ladders back to brand positioning. And to me, the misstep wasn't Dylan Mulvaney that caused the quagmire. It was them not really understanding how to deal with the eruption. There wasn't a sense of urgency. They could have stamped out this fire much earlier. If they would have just said, Bud Light has been and always has been for everyone to enjoy, which it has been. That's what, I think I would have advised if I were managing the brand. But unfortunately, they took way too long to address that situation. Right now, it's not looking pretty. They've lost their number one positioning. Most people don't realize that the summer weeks and weekends are the glory periods of beer. If you look at the Super Bowl weekend in February, every summer weekend is the same as a Super Bowl weekend. That's how much beer is being sold. And so it could not have come at a worse time to be happening in April, right? And now we're in June, and it's not letting up. I believe that they need to come up with a sort of campaign that says, hey, we're a beer for everyone to enjoy. And then I would quickly revert to going back to the brand's positioning and DNA. The brand's DNA is witty, it's fun. I don't know if you remember the Frogs or Spuds McKenzie. Those were the ads that brought the brand to life. They had a creative officer named Bob Lackey back in the day when I was there who blew the socks off the industry, and no one could touch them. And to me, they've got to find their next Bob Lackey, and they've got to get back to their roots on how they got to be the number one brand in America. They've got to stay true to their message. They've got to win back their core constituents, which is blue collar and that 25 to 30-year-old that the brand leadership that's now removed, alienated, if you will. To me, I would have a singular message that resonates with them, but drive a campaign off of it. And to me, I would poke fun at myself and say, I'm wrong. Everyone loves somebody that's self-depreciating, if you will. And in a brand, you've got to personify that. And that's, again, some of the advice I would look at doing. And I would tap my insights department and see if what's going to resonate with these core constituents that we have lost. We've seen brands reinvent themselves, and I'd say like Coors Banquet is a perfect example. So is Pabst Blue Ribbon, right? But those took years and years to rebuild and reposition, if you will. If I'm Bud Light, I'm going back to what worked, and that's the brand positioning and DNA of, hey, it's funny, it's witty, maybe a little sophomoric. But that's their base, which they've alienated, and they need to come back strong with something. It's going to take a little while, and I think they're going to have the comeback story we just mentioned. America loves a comeback, and they need one. And so it's time to build a campaign for this brand to come back. It used to be America's social lubricant. I think it can be again someday.